Good morning, my viewers, and happy Saturday. My name is Natasha Bridgemohan, your host for The Financial Room. Well, today we're going to be talking about buying a new build home or a new construction. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about buying resale home and what are the things that you need to look out for. So, new build and new construction is a different topic altogether, and it's very exciting for a lot of homeowners because it's brand new, never been occupied. You get to choose what you like in terms of colors, in terms of tiles, in terms of the paint, in terms of cabinetry. So what I want to do here today, our objective, my viewers, is to give you enough information to get you ready to make that sound decision when you're buying a new build or new construction home. Most important, we talked about location. So of course, you want to buy, in terms of getting the best value, or if I may say, the best bang for your buck, is to look at properties in suburbs that are building and starting at phase 1. And if you see that phase 2, phase 3 is coming, what does that tell you? That it's a great location and there's opportunity for immediate growth, which means only one great thing, the value of your home is going to go up. So that's something to look out. So if you want to buy new build, start buying in with builders that have the anticipation of buying and selling into phase 2 and phase 3 and buying early in the phase 1 sector. Of course, the type of home. New builds come in a variety of different types, different sizes. You're talking about condominiums, high rises, low rises, townhouse, freehold, townhouse condominiums, detached, bungalows, split, all kinds of fun, different types of homes. So get to know what you like best, what's most utilizing for your family, and choose the right home. Of course, demographics is very, very, very important. When you're buying a new home or a new construction build, sometimes the area is not yet developed. That can also be a very good thing for long-term value, but it could also be a negative impact for short-term use. For example, if you have young children or kids that are in high school, sometimes there's no bus service available, long walks, lanes, roadway work is not done yet, tight traffic. There's a lot of things that you can also think about of not being so positive when buying new build homes in non-developed areas. So again, those are things for you to make note of. Let's talk about the builder. You want to make sure that you buy a home from a reputable builder. Now, the most important thing is you want to make sure that they're Tarion certified, Tarion licensed. Now, what's Tarion? Tarion is the self-independent organization that protects consumers and homeowners from bad buildings, bad homes. So how do you find a reputable builder? Lots of ways. You can visit the Construction Associations of Ontario website. You can go by reputation, you can ask neighbors, you can do research, lots of different things that are available. Of course, there's very famous builders like Green Park and Arista, but there's also smaller builders that are up and coming that are very, very competitive and sometimes offer very different things that are maybe beneficial for you as a new home owner. Let's talk also about deposits. Now, deposits are very, very important for you to be very careful and understand what that means. Now, there's deposits when you have to put down when you put an offer, but there's also deposits for, let's say, a tree. Also, if it is a estate community, you may have to put a deposit for interlock. Now, these deposits you may not get back maybe a year or even up to 5, 6, 7 years. Now, how would you find out and how would you know about these? Let's say terms and conditions. Well, there's something called a cooling off period. When you sign an agreement and it's accepted, you have up to 72 hours, sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter. Again, you want to read that fine print, but you got to take it to a qualified real estate lawyer. Now, I say the operative word real estate, not a litigation lawyer, not a family lawyer, not your friend who's a lawyer, a real estate lawyer. Okay, so that's very, very, very important that they sit down with you and go through all those terms and conditions. Now, of course, when you're talking about deposits, upgrades is also very, very, very important. Now, sometimes upgrades are included in the agreement of purchase and sale, or sometimes it's an addendum. Now, upgrades, my viewers, sometimes could be included in the mortgage, or sometimes they're not. And again, these are things that you will need to ask a qualified expert. Let's talk about closing delays. Now, here's one of the most pet peeves of mine when you're buying new build, if I may say. The builder can honestly delay your home for quite a while. I've seen clients experience up to a year, up to 2, 3 years in delays, especially in high-rise condos. So it's very, very important. Again, I'm going back, ladies and gentlemen, to that fine print. Understand, because if you're selling your home, depending on a closing date and moving into a new home, and that new home is not ready, you may be forced to stay at family or rent in a hotel and incur unnecessary costs. So it's very, very important that you prepare and plan yourself when transitioning to a new home from an existing home. So those are things to keep in mind. Let's also talk about closing costs. Now, closing costs for new builds can be extremely expensive compared to a resale home. They're typically ranging about 1.5 to 2.5% of your purchase price. Again, I really suggest that you sit down with your lawyer, and most builders these days are very, very transparent. They will give you an addendum of all the closing costs that are associated with buying a new home. So again, you want to get well prepared, ask really great questions, read the fine print, and learn about the location and putting it all together to make sure that these fits your needs. Especially, if I may say, if you have children that are going to elementary or post-secondary, and they may not be any schools in that area. So lots of important things, and if you're dependent on public transport, you want to keep that in mind to make sure there are availability in terms of service in nearby. Make sure, of course, you can afford the home. That's very, very important, because you want to also live in style, but also live very comfortably. And how can you do that? Speak to a qualified mortgage broker from our team. www.thebridgegroup.ca, or contact us at toll-free 1-866-553-7467. Again, that's 1-866-553-7467. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and it was nice joining me today. Have a great afternoon. Take care.